Welcome to the criminal imagination, where shadows lengthen, lies unravel, and the darkest corners of fiction light up with meaning. Today we step into a compelling battlefield: masculinity, femininity, and the smoky pages of crime fiction. Why did Chandler believe only men could confront society's worst sins? And how did women writers turn that belief on its head? Grab your magnifying glass and let's investigate. Let's begin across the Atlantic. In his bold essay, The Simple Art of Murder, Raymond Chandler made it clear: the American crime hero had to be a man, not just any man, a lone investigator walking through mean streets, untouched by corruption but tangled in desire. Think Double Indemnity. Walter Huff doesn't commit murder, he's seduced into it, not by reason but by Phyllis, a man devoured by erotic force fields more than human logic. But Chandler's The Lady in the Lake went further. Meet Mildred Haviland. She's a deceiver, seductress, and a murderer. She outwits every man, including the famed detective Marlowe, and even Chandler himself. As she slips through gendered expectations, the novel crumbs into chaos. The mystery unspeakable, unsolvable, uncontrollable. Does it sound familiar? Mildred forces Chandler to surrender to the illusion of control, and in doing so, decades before feminism, she asks, what happens when women stop being the mystery and start writing it? Almost two generations after Gaudy Night, P.D. James introduces Cordelia Gray in An Unsuitable Job for a Woman. She is 22, unsure, and everyone around her doubts her, but she investigates anyway. By The Skull Beneath the Skin, she is still plagued by self doubt. So, what's going on? Did James resist feminism, or was she exposing the fragility behind a brave face? Meanwhile, Ruth Randall and Susan Hill created male detectives like Wexford and Serralier. Calm, intuitive, emotionally literate. Men, yes, but not mean street types, a different masculinity, a quieter power. Then came the insurgents. Gillian Slovo, for example, with her private eye Kate Bayer, leftist, feminist, and wary. She is in Marlowe. She questions why people kill, not just who. Slovo herself grew up in exile. Her mother was murdered by apartheid agents. So her fiction, it burns with political clarity. Rebecca O'Rourke's Jumping the Cracks gives us Rats, a lesbian, working class, Yorkshire-born woman with no love for books but a sharp instinct for injustice. She finds a body and investigates, not out of duty, but disbelief. Her world: tabloids, TV, survival. She's no knight, no rogue. She's real. Across the ocean, Marcia Muller's Sharon McCone arrived, stylish but armed, emotional but independent. She walks a tightrope, neither fully hard-boiled nor entirely gentle. But some critics say she is trying too hard to out-Hammett Hammett. Then came the big three. First, Grafton's D is for Deadbeat, second, Paretsky's Toxic Shock, and third, Cornwell's Postmortem. Grafton's Kinsey Milhone learned to shoot and to crochet, skills from her eccentric aunt, because precision and patience matter whether you are solving a murder or you are knitting. Paretsky's V.I. Warchowski is emotional, political, and deeply haunted. When she shoots a corrupt chemical plant manager, the scene bleeds with Dostoevskian guilt. She's not just a detective, she's a woman caught between justice and trauma. These women don't pretend to be men. They step into danger, they love carefully, and live by one rule: never depend on anyone, especially a man. By the 1980s, something extraordinary was happening. Lesbian detectives rose in fiction: Catherine Forrest, Nikki Baker, Barbara Wilson. In Sisters of the Road, Wilson breaks the very structure of crime fiction. Plot, clues, closure, nothing is guaranteed. Why? Because patriarchy demands order. These women refuse it. And then came Blanche White. Barbara Neely's Blanche isn't just black, she's working class, a domestic worker, invisible. But in that invisibility lies power. She listens, watches, uncovers, and no one suspects a thing. Blanche doesn't restore order, she reveals how broken it was to begin with. So, what do these voices tell us? That crime fiction, a genre built on guns, grit, and gallows humor, has become one of the most powerful mirror of gender politics. From Chandler's seductive killers to Wachowski's existential crisis, the genre has never just been about who did it. It's also about who gets to ask questions. So here's a question for you. Which female detective challenged your expectations the most and why? And tell me, if you found this dive through the alleys of crime fiction illuminating, like, subscribe, and share to the criminal imagination. There is always more beneath the surface. And like Chesterton says, the criminal is the creative artist, the detective only the critic. Until next time, stay curious, stay critical, and never take the case at face value.